Dameshek here. Week 14's through, so let's get right to it. Just remember, players and coaches, don't get angry at me if I call your name. Ultimately, I didn't do this to you. You did this to you. Let it begin! At number 4, you know the old saying about how the more things change, the more they stay the same? Well, that's only sometimes true. Here in 2016, football aficionados are once again overreacting to what they saw in September, seeming to forget that, while there are only 16 games on the regular season schedule, the NFL season is in fact quite long. You remember when Carson Wentz was a revelation and the Eagles were headed to the Super Bowl? Well, now they're not. And remember how the defending champs looked like they were headed to a second straight Super Bowl? Well, now it looks like they're not even headed to the playoffs. And you remember when the Rams were 3-1, or when the Bucs were 1-3. Yeah, flip those things now. And remember when Aaron Rodgers was mediocre and past his prime? Well, now he and the Packers are hitting their stride. Or when Odell Beckham was a distraction and needed to be traded? Well, now he's stealing games for the Giants. Okay, fine. The Browns are still the Browns, even though they wear more orange than the Syracuse Orange. But the point is, the NFL season is long, and so is my memory. Do with both facts what you will. At number 3, Le'Veon Bell, who made the most of his time in the snow on Sunday. 3 touchdowns on 42 touches, 298 yards, outdoing the entire Bills offense. All great stuff. But what doesn't show up on the score sheet? He took the Bills' dignity. All of it. At some point, it gets disrespectful. Tell him, Ike Taylor.
Man, that's somebody's daddy right there.
Yes, Ike, those guys are someone's daddies. Come on, Lev. You're better than that. Now it's time for the Everyman, presented by the Campbell's Chunky Everyman All-Star League, which this week goes to last Saturday's tremendous episode of my favorite rivalry in sports, the Army-Navy game. An emotional upset for the Black Knights, glorious uniforms on both sides, and it was called by one of the best play-by-play guys of my entire lifetime, Vern Lundquist, who way back in 1979 provided one of the most iconic calls in Super Bowl history.
Roger back to throw, has a man open in the end zone, caught, touchdown, dropped in the end zone. Oh, bless his heart, he's got to be the sickest man in America.
And now we're all tied for being the sickest men in America because you're retiring, Vern. Happy trails. At number 2, Pac-Man Jones post-game remarks about Terrell Pryor.
Saying all this facades, all this fake hard that he play out on the field, that ain't Terrell Pryor. I checked his background. He's a suburbs kid from Pittsburgh.
Hey, I'm a suburbs kid from Pittsburgh. I'm offended on behalf of all suburbs kids from Pittsburgh.
Garbage. Oh, there you go. Get him out of there. See him in there?
I'm tempted to respond, but instead, I'll let you respond, Pac-Man.
Wide open.
Garbage. Garbage. Garbage.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And that brings me to number 1 in this week's brown paper bag of shame, which goes to 2016's most Jekyll and Hyde team, the Seattle Seahawks. I'd offer you a mulligan after Sunday's game in Lambeau, but you've already taken a lot of mulligans, guys. 5 points in Tampa, 40 against Carolina, then 10 against the Packers. I know I said earlier things change a lot over the course of a season, but this particular roller coaster is making me nauseated. Speaking of which, this is happening on Thursday. And sadly, it cannot be stopped. You know, I said Jekyll and Hyde, but I guess Bruce Banner and the Hulk would be more accurate, considering you're the actual color of the Hulk. All I know is Hulk better not lose to the Rams, or there certainly won't be a Banner in Seattle come 2017. Here, to cover up those ugly jerseys in the meantime, wear this. It's a brown paper bag of shame. Till next time, try not to embarrass yourselves. Ooh, I might be throwing the ball better than Russell at this point.
Shame.